live. Yo, so my name's Afro. I'm part of the Sports After Party podcast, or TSAP, like we call ourselves sometimes. So yeah, I'm one of the hosts with Jeremy, and yeah, I love sports. Like sports has always been a part of my life. It's been a part of every day. I watch everything from the UK sports, from football to rugby, athletics, all the way through to the American sports. You know, the NBA, NFL, all that kind of stuff. Something exciting that's happening at the moment. So Jeremy and I are discussing with another guy that wants to come on board and I guess have a partnership. So he's got his own clothing line, but he's like he's a sports athlete. He's looking to go professional in boxing next year, which is quite cool. It's called Big Bones Apparel, so watch out for it coming very, very soon. And yeah, that's me in a little snippet. I guess that's me. That's me. Jez, over to you, bro.
Cheers. Yeah, Jez and Jay, Jeremy. I'm also one of the hosts of the Sports After Party podcast. Also part-time model, so looking for anything way there. But yeah, no, so obviously just being a massive sports fan, I used to play rugby, or still play rugby, at a decent standard, and just love sports. You know, we've grew up in a boarding school. Myself and Afro grew up together, and we played everything from football, basketball, rugby, and I think we kind of had a little bit of a love for a certain TV show in the US called First Take. I'm sure you guys are aware of Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman and the rest. And I think that, I can't lie, I think that's one of the reasons why we went on to kind of start the Sports After Party podcast, because we really enjoyed listening to that, and we thought, you know what, let's bring that overall sport content to the UK and kind of have a platform where we could talk about black issues as well. So yeah, no, that's us. A little snippet of the Sports After Party podcast. To you boys.
Go ahead, Daniel, mate.
Nah, I'm Daniel. Obviously one half, or like however you want to see it, but there's quite a lot of us in terms of Eyes on the Ball. But yeah, one of the founders of Eyes on the Ball, obviously with Darren. So we started it 2 years ago now. We've been building, got our YouTube page up, got Insta, Twitter, everything running well. And really and truly, as we've gone on, we've developed a platform where it started out as just a podcast, but now it's more of a media company where there's many different facets to it. There's a lot of shows going on it at the same time. There's people writing for us now. And yeah, man, we're just creating a platform for people to come do their thing, really, come showcase their talents, because I think that's what we've, like, I mean, you guys have said it already, like we've all grown up on sports, mentioning stuff that we've been watching for time. We've been seeing these lot talk about it, and then we're just trying to do our own thing and pave our own wage, you know what I'm saying? Like, why can't we be successful from something that we love, the passion that we've obviously been growing on? So that's literally it. That's what Eyes on the Ball is, man. Just it was a passion, turned it into a grind, and now we're trying to do our thing, man. And there's enough room for everyone to eat, to be honest. So
100.
Yeah, man. That's how we see it.
Yeah, Daniel pretty much touched on it all. To add to that, you know, we talk American sports, as you guys mentioned as well. So we both love the NBA, so we've got an NBA show. NFL season just finished. I'm a big NFL guy as well, so we still got the show running for that. But yeah, as Daniel said, man, started off as a podcast and it just grew, I guess. We kind of envisioned it, but I guess it grew sooner than we thought. But I love where it's going. Yeah, man, from the blog to the website to, you know, the different sports that we cover, just gives us a chance to, you know, have our say. And yeah, man, as we all know, no one's opinion is more valuable than another. So, you know, it's good to provide a platform where we can all have our say and just get together and have the conversation that we've been having off mic and let the people get to know.
So I've got a quick question before we kind of go on. So I know one thing I find funny is, I guess whenever it comes to talking sports, like you said, everyone's got their opinion. Everyone knows what they believe. They think that is it. Like this is what it is. So you guys have been doing it for a couple of years now. Well, what's that experience like in terms of keeping your cool, where someone's saying Ronaldo's the greatest of all time, and the other person saying, no, you don't know anything. Messi's the greatest of all time. Like, how do you find that whole thing of keeping calm, making sure that you get your point, you don't get so flustered that you don't even end up saying anything? Like, how do you find that?
That was actually a point of that's something that I wanted to make sure didn't happen. I didn't want it to be a first take to where it's like every man just shouting down everyone's throat, speaking over each other, everyone just trying to get their point across. I wanted it to be a platform where, you know, we can disagree, as things should be. Like, you can still respect someone's opinion and disagree with what they're saying. And it also makes for interesting conversation. Like, it gets us out of the habit of always thinking we're right, you know, because there's some gems out there that, you know, we might not have considered when we're coming to our opinion or coming to like a decision or something. And yeah, man, I think it's been very helpful, and just, you know, it gives you a different perspective, having to not always trying to pick the holes in someone's argument, just listening to what, you know, how they view things, and yeah, making your, you know, more educated opinion based on that also.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure, man. And even to just touch on that, like, fam, we're all boys at the end of the day. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's never gonna come to blows. Like, I think what we've struck a good balance is finding the balance between like banter and disrespecting someone's opinion. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, no one gets disrespected. It's just like nice little banter, and really and truly,
yeah.
Like, who's to say that even if it's 3-on-1, who's to say the one is like in the wrong? Do you know what I'm saying? It's literally just a difference in opinion. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And only time will tell whether that opinion turns out to be true. And like, we're not in the business of trying to. Me and Darren, I tell him all the time, we're not in the business of predictive sports. A lot of people are trying to predict someone's decline, for example. Someone's like, fam, we're trying to give informed opinions that are based on whatever knowledge that we have or we've gained, and then we obviously share that same opinion, whether we've seen it given from someone else that we share the same opinions from, or like we just find our own information and grind from there. But I don't know, how have you lot like tried to find the balance between like people difference of opinion, basically?
Well, I mean, for us, Afro is always wrong. So
You started. You started.
Nah, Afro is always wrong. So it's for me, it's like giving him a lesson, just letting him know, you know, what direction he needs to go in. But on a serious note, I think what we try to do, obviously, we cover so many topics, right? And when you do that, it's impossible to be an expert in any. And I think what you see sometimes is how some individuals, you know, the TV show that I mentioned, they try and pretend they're experts in every single field. And I think that's rubbish, because you just can't be, right? And for us, it's all about giving informed opinions, opinions that we're passionate about as well, but also realizing and making the audience aware that we're also not experts as well, and we want to hear from them. So I think that's one of the things that we've kind of found that people enjoy anyways, engaging with us on our socials, in particular our Instagram as well, and getting their input.
I just think the important thing is to be authentic. Like you said, it's impossible to kind of be expert in every single thing. Of course, you can do all the reading and the understanding and feel like you know it all, but really and truly, like we're not experts at it, and we're kind of learning on the job. I enjoy it. Like, I feel like sports is very, very opinionated, especially if you support a specific team. And like, I think about it as an Arsenal fan, and Jeremy's a Manchester United fan. Like, he has strong opinions about his experience of his players, his manager, and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to Arsenal, it's the complete flip opposite. And I think that's the funny thing about sports, is that everyone is so opinionated, and obviously whatever they think that is what it is. And that's why the important thing is that you listen, you take a sip, like you sit down, you listen to what the person has to say, and then you kind of, if you want to pick holes, pick holes. But I think the important thing is being able to kind of hear two different opinions, and I think that's what makes it more fun. So yeah. And
you know what, linked to that, Afro, I think opinions and sort of influence is really what a lot of these sports get from people. And for me, like, just a question to like everyone really around, like, you know, how we think sports has kind of contributed to sort of culture, and, you know, the platforms that we have, how we kind of address it as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think even like just like making a quick link to what we've been talking about in it, in terms of the sports that we cover, like so we cover now football, obviously the NBA, NFL, and then obviously mainstream boxing. So when there's a big fight like Joshua, Tyson Fury or whatnot, like the mainstream stuff. Like the reason why we decided to do that is because at the end of the day, we watch a lot of sports as boys, and a lot of our boys watch these sports, and we just decided that if we're gonna do this, let's do it properly. Like we don't want to just. Obviously, it did start out as just a football podcast, but then we branched it out and there's so many avenues and channels that we can find ourselves in. Like for example, one of the Sky Sports analysts that does the NFL brought Darren and his team on his show, on a separate show, and that's literally due to the NFL show happening on our page. So that's a different avenue, and then in the football avenue, something else could be going on. So there's different avenues to success, and really and truly, what we said is, and we have this understanding, like even though I watch the NFL, I'm not an expert in the NFL. That's why I'm not on the NFL show. If he blows off of the NFL show, he's blowing off of our brand, and it's all love. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we want this to happen regardless of who's on the show and whatever someone's doing. Do you know what I'm saying? Or if someone wants to use this platform to build their own career, that's the point. So that's why we made sure that there was a range of sports in it, and I think the black aspect comes into that as well, just to tie it all together, in that we just wanted something for the mandem. Do you know what I'm saying? When we started it was something that people could relate to, and I think that's where like you see these big organizations like Sky Sports and stuff like that, where they've lost their way in terms of how they communicate sports to us, and we've deeped. I think it was a realization within the black people, because now you see a lot of podcasts, like everyone's doing their YouTube channel, and that's good. I'm all for it, because at the end of the day, we don't really need that TV stuff. I get my content, literally watch a couple podcasts. I don't really watch Sky. When I deep that I don't even need Sky Sports is when I didn't watch transfer, like deadline day in the summer. Like before, back in the day, that's what you'd sit down and watch. But as black people now, we've got people doing their own thing, and like. And now we can watch that, and it's informed as well. It's very, very informed. People get their information. People have links. So yeah, as black people, it's definitely the way media has transformed itself. It's definitely something that's contributed, or we've contributed to that, and we can say that like we've been successful at it. And the same as you, man. I'm sure like you must feel like a bit proud in it. Do you know what I'm saying? That you've contributed to the success of like black people in the media industry. Like as much as we're doing it for fun as well. Like we're leaving a legacy for a lot of other people to come and do their thing as well. So yeah, man.
Yeah, to add to that, just to touch on the stuff that you said, Ben, I'm glad we not found our voice, but we understood, the voice that we have. Like as I said, a lot of the conversations that we put out there now are conversations that we already had or of similar ilk. You know what I'm saying? So now I think it's just good that we've, not found the confidence, but understood how important and how relevant and how impactful like allowing other people to hear them conversations could be. And yeah, man, I think in terms of the black community, it's good because we've all come together and understand the power of our community, of our culture, of our voice. And yeah, man, I just want us to continue to empower each other and for us to continue to grow, man, because there's a space, like there's a space for us to really have our say, let our voices be heard. And yeah, man, this is just the beginning.
Darren, I can see the joy in your face when you're talking about it, bro.
Yeah, man, because this is something I spoke about for years in terms of the guys that I grew up with. Like, bro, imagine if we recorded that, or imagine if we had, we could put that out there. Now it's at a point where not only is it out there, we know that people want to hear it. There's a space in the market for it, and yeah, I'm just happy that everyone's maximizing their voice and their potential.
Yeah, we have to. Like Jeremy, you think about it. Like when we had the conversation about us doing it, and it was just we have these chats all the time. Like randomly, someone would be in the group chat. I might type, "I've just seen this. What do you think?" And all of a sudden, the group chat, if you're not in it from the start, it can be like 500 messages within like 30 minutes. And everyone's chiming in, giving in their opinion. And yeah, I think like it's great when you think about sports as a whole, that there's black people obviously in certain sports. So you think about golf, the reason why maybe I pay attention to it is because Tiger Woods is in it. When he falls off, maybe I don't spend as much time and I don't spend as much time following it and knowing who's winning. And I mean that's why it's so important to have people that look like you as well within the sports because um, one, you can relate to it a bit more, and when you see it, maybe give you something that you can kind of aspire to. Like I think about um, tennis, and even though in the men's tennis, maybe you don't have as many black superstars the way you got in women's, but when you do have those things, it kind of draws you in, and I think it's important. Is maybe the reason why all of us have kind of decided to go down the route of creating a platform where we talk about these things, and I think it's important. I think that's very important.
Yeah, I feel like just to kind of put a bow on the conversation is that in different walks of society and in life, black people aren't really at the top. But when it comes to sport, and it's in particularly the major sports, NFL, NBA, football, we're dominating and we're doing really well. And I think, and then when you look off the field, you see less people of color speaking on it, or being in management positions, or having sort of the influence to shape the conversation around it. But let's take Raheem Sterling for example, or Marcus Rashford, right? The way the media loves to depict them is completely opposite to how I think a black journalist or something would speak on the topics that they're raising. So us having this platform to also, give them props and give them dues as well, because I hate listening to Graham Souness talk about Paul Pogba. Like that's just wrong. And the racial undertones there are just something else. But yeah, for me, I think they deserve to have people who are like them talking about them as well. And I think people enjoy listening to it.
For sure. That's how I just meant, when I spoke earlier, I mentioned perspective because the perspective that we had, it's a unique one, and it's good that we're putting it out there, man. You got to put that in the atmosphere.
So something that's
go on, Afro.
Go on, Joe. Well, I was just going to say something that's hot in the media at the moment is, of course, about the players within sports kneeling. So I was just going to ask you guys about your opinion on it. I spoke to Tossin about it as well earlier, and just what I think about it, because I know in one of my group chats we were talking about it, and a lot of my friends feel that it's a waste of time now. Like, why are you still doing it? It's not doing anything. Move on from it, and let's actually try and make change. But I'm on the flip side. I feel that kneeling makes the conversation happen every single week. I feel like Zaha saying that he's going to stop kneeling, all of a sudden it's being spoken about, and then maybe it keeps the conversation going of, okay, have we done anything since 6 months ago? So that's my opinion. I kind of feel that it's beneficial. So I thought, let me open up to the group. What do you guys think about kneeling in sports?
I think it's still beneficial. I hear what Zaha was saying in terms of like it can be like a token gesture and things like that. But the way I see it is, it's just about awareness. You know what I mean? Because not everyone is at the same level of understanding what black people go through. Like some people still say, stuff like Black Lives Matter is offensive, and I think when you make a statement like kneeling and things like that, anyone that is still offended when it comes to something like that, then you clearly need to go educate yourself. I think it's just bringing everyone to the same level of awareness. I mean, in terms of the people that aren't aware, they're, progressing in terms of understanding not only what black people go through, how we need things to improve and things of that nature. I think it shouldn't stop us from moving on in terms of, it impacting managerial positions and whatever goals that we have as black people to push on. I don't think it should stop that, but it's a matter of, as I said, just continuing to raise awareness. Do you know what I mean? Because some people, they really don't understand, and we can't just neglect those people. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's probably a bigger group than we think. So I think it's just about continuing to spread awareness and letting people know that, like black people, the stuff we go through is not, it's not right at the end of the day.
And I think, just to add to that, Darren, I feel like I understand where Zaha's coming from, but the way I see it is kind of like the flip side of the way he sees it, in the sense that once you start taking away kneeling, then they might stop wearing the armbands on their shirts. Then they might stop talking about the conversation, and then they might stop. Charitable efforts might stop, and then we're back to ground zero again. I don't think we've seen any action with enough actions with the kneeling to the point that okay, let's stop doing it now. So until I think that we see something substantial, I'm all for kneeling.
You're muted, bro.
Yeah, no, I think quickly just to add to that, like I get it in it, like the kneeling thing at first was a statement, but I think as it's gone on, like Jeremy has said, like it's the action that comes with that, and I even think it's taken too long for things to be implemented. I mean, I think stopping kneeling I wouldn't stop it necessarily, because I think the same level of importance that wearing black armbands and having rainbow laces, the same level of importance all these things deserve, rightfully so, is the same thing the kneeling statement should be a thing. Do you know what I'm saying? A thing where people understand the importance and the meaning behind it. Like, why are we doing this? The campaign for this. And then on top of that, it comes with the action, man. It comes with the action, the education that comes with it. Obviously, I think a lot of things have been, like, we can go into this forever, and I don't want to, like, take too much time, but like, fam, there's been a lot of cop-out things. Like, kneeling has been used as almost like a thing to protect itself. Yeah, cool. So now that we've got the people kneeling, yeah, it's calm. We don't really need to do anything. We can sit on things. Do you know what I'm saying? But we're still seeing instances that this is not taken seriously. So yeah, man, I think it's just about being careful. That's what I said about the Zaha thing. I totally understand where Zaha is coming from. I don't think what he's saying is mad, but what I do think is that in what he's saying, he can give people that are clearly ignorant an excuse. But Zaha said this, so why should I? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just about being careful rather than like totally dismissing the idea. Like, so just come from a little bit, be more understanding, because there's a lot of ignorant people out there, innit? As much as we say education, some people don't want to be educated, and there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's the concern of I think, like you said, it's about changing people's opinion. I think the opinion is there's nothing to change. So until that can be changed, then we're not really going to make any movement. But something I want to kind of touch on as well, when I was just thinking about sports, having black people within sports is just what brings a smile to my face. And I think about how Pogba was criticized for his hair, which I think is ridiculous. But Pogba being criticized for his hair, and because of his hair, that's probably why he's not performing well. And I think when the media portrays it as this negative thing, the same way with dancing within sports, and I feel like when I watch AFCON, like African Cup of Nations, like something I look forward to every single time is someone scoring, and then okay, what dance are they going to bang? What are they going to bring out? And that's something I enjoy. And you think about the Premier League now, like imagine, like obviously now we have the same celebration, everyone's sliding on their knees. Like, yeah, that's fine, slide on your knees. But when someone brings out a skank now and is dancing, to me that brings so much entertainment to me. And I think about the Adebayor and Thierry Henry celebration. I think about other great African players that are playing in the league, and how that brings more entertainment, and how that kind of lets people into our culture a little bit. And to kind of take it to America and the US, like I look at how black culture impacted the NBA, impacted the way that people dress, impacted even culture now, where most people have a pair of Jordans. Like, Jordans are meant for playing basketball, and all of a sudden it's like, yo, like if someone's wearing Jordans and cold Jordans, it looks like you're like, yo, you look mad. Like, that's wavy. And that's something I find really impressive, just how we've been able to have that impact where it's kind of impacted the wider community.
I had one further question that I wanted to ask, and that was kind of around other podcasts that you guys listen to. That's not sports related, and in particular, if there was anything from those podcasts that you'd like to bring into the or just think that's pretty cool and should be spotlighted.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. In terms of things that I take from non-sports podcasts, I think looking at the big picture is done less so in sports, because in sports we're pretty reactionary. Like us at Eyes on the Ball, we try not to be. So I'm saying in terms of like reacting to games, and things like that. We like to have bigger picture conversations. But in terms of taking things from other podcasts, that exactly, I think, we need to look at the bigger picture in terms of sport, because a lot of these things are interconnected. I mean, a lot of the things that we talk about, they are actually that one thing affects another. That's from ownership, talking executive positions, like coaching, all of it, participation, all of it. So what I'd like to see more is us having big picture conversations while also being very nuanced as well, like less reactionary and more proaction.
Yeah,
I think it kind of combines what I enjoy from other podcasts, just around storytelling. And I feel like a lot of sports, and for example, Sky Sports News, they're reacting to stories like you said, Darren, and it can be very reactionary. But what I really enjoy are things like documentaries, podcasts on, like, for example, I listen to the Guardian News Weekly, where they talk about a particular news story, but they add a whole story around it. So it's not just a news story; it has a narrative to it, and I think that's what I really enjoy about some particular podcasts. And if we can incorporate that into Sports After Party podcast, I'd love that, because I think just the narrative is so much more entertaining for a listener.
Me personally, I'm not I tell Darren this all the time. I'm not a huge podcast fan necessarily. Like even like my podcast, sometimes I like, because obviously I do the editing, so sometimes I'm like, yeah, not gonna lie, I'm not really up for this still. Do you know what I'm saying? Like listening to myself and going over it, but I obviously know what's happened because I've edited it and I've gone over it like 100 times. Do you know what I'm saying? I've basically listened to it, if that makes sense. But in terms of what's influenced like our opinions, maybe our podcast as well, definitely it's the shows that we see on TV. As much as we say maybe Sky Sports and all these shows maybe have lost their way a bit, we've definitely taken influence from them in terms of how they've created their debates and what they've done, and maybe taken their shows and adapted it to suit our opinions. You know what I'm saying? Like you mentioned, First Take. I mean, yeah, not trying to make it First Take but at the end of the day, one thing that First Take is kind of predicated on is the debate nature of the show. What do we do with the man when we talk any sport? Like, we're always debating, like, do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it's just taking influence from all these shows, what we've watched, what we've been raised with, and then adapting it to our thing, like making it suit us and suit our image. Do you know what I'm saying? So.
And then, what's quite interesting as well is that I feel like in the UK, debate shows weren't really a thing until relatively recent. But obviously in America and the States, they seem to have had it for a long time. And let's be honest, it's entertaining, isn't it? So
I even think the UK still hasn't caught on to that. I think there's still a bit of political correctness about the UK where you can't really. I think Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher have got a good balance of that.
Yeah.
In terms of the way they debate, but I think the UK in general hasn't caught on with that, like the nature that you can have debates and it doesn't need to get personal or doesn't need to be aggressive. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think there's too much. So with the US sports, I don't know if you've clocked this, but you never really know who these guys support, and this is because they're more time as journalists and things like that. You never really know what side they lean to. Like, for example, you could actually forget that Stephen A supports the Knicks. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he provides a balanced, more often than not, opinion. When it comes to the UK, like when it comes to Jamie Carragher, Liverpool, he's gonna die on that sword. Gary Neville, United, he's gonna die on that sword. Obviously, yeah, when they're talking about their club, they'll give their opinion on what should happen, but it's like they're so defensive that they can't even see the bigger picture. Do you know what I'm saying? So once someone can't even see the bigger picture from the start, a debate can't even be had. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like when it's not informed, that's the key thing. Informed debates. Like me and Darren have had episodes where we've watched it back and we said, nah, this isn't good content, man. Like these debates don't make any sense. We're not dropping this. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's the key thing. It's about informed content. Like, at the end of the day, yeah, we're providing like we're providing content for everyone, but we have to understand that we're at a bit of a disadvantage because we're not experts. We need to make sure we're coming with G'd up opinions, you know what I'm saying? Because there's room for criticism. These guys don't know what they're talking about. That's why they didn't make it. Like, they don't have an opinion. That's because it's not, do you know what I'm saying? So it's just about being informed and not just basically chatting rubbish.
Afro, do you want to tell them about the Nigerian Twitter fan that came for you?
The Nigerian Twitter fan? Which one?
Oh, there was one guy that was saying that, like, I can't remember, you commented on one Arsenal performance, and the guy was coming
Oh,
for him.
yeah. Okay, I remember. I must have said, I think I was talking about just different Arsenal players. You know, as an Arsenal fan, like, every Arsenal fan has an opinion that this player is trash, that player is trash, and all that kind of stuff. I think I must have said, if I said, like, oh, Xhaka, like, he's not the worst player in the world, and the guy basically fired back at me saying that, yeah, you don't know ball, but it's a freshie, like, it's on fresh from home, fresh from Niger. I was like, yeah, you clearly don't even know ball. And I was like, wait, what? And obviously he looked at my DP, and he obviously tried to troll me, like, yeah, look at your picture. You're someone that doesn't know sports, you don't know anything. And I must have fired back, and it was just funny just to watch because obviously, like, I don't know, maybe that's how Nigerian culture is when it comes to sports, that it's just a part of the conversation that you must abuse the person first, then you give your
No,
point.
but it even happened. It even happened yesterday. Like someone, like, because obviously I started my Twitter again just to try and make it more football based, and like luckily, like, I get a lot of what's it called, the followers that I have. There's a lot of football engagement, so I tried to make use of that. And yesterday, I think I was talking about how much I don't like the way assists are handled in football. Like, I was using the Bruno assist for Dan James as an example. I said, like, I understand why they call that an assist, but in my opinion, that's not what an assist is. Do you know what I'm saying? Or like when someone passes it 20 seconds ago and they're giving it as an assist. Do you know what I'm saying? And then I basically broke it down. A couple people retweeted, likes here and there. Then someone just came. It was like, clearly you know nothing about the sport. This is your first time. And then I was like, and the thing about me is that I never argue with Twitter people because it's people behind the screen that feel. So I literally just said, "Oh yeah, no, I appreciate it. I was actually a water polo fan, so you're enlightening me how much." Do you know what I'm saying? So, and then they get more angry that I'm not entertaining it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they want to fight back, and then you just air it after a while. So yeah, nah. But in terms of like what excites you, man, about being black in 2021, like in the UK, in terms of media and everything like that, like what do you think excites you for the future in terms of like us as black people pushing our platforms forward?
So for me, I mean, that's easy. I love seeing the brothers win, man. I think seeing Lewis Hamilton, I think he matched the record for Michael Schumacher. Like, seeing that is amazing. Seeing Anthony Joshua lose to Ruiz, and then come back and then beat him. Like, seeing that brings so much joy to me. Seeing, and even though I'm an Arsenal fan, seeing like Rashford score a good goal, like, it's like, oh, okay, nice to see it. Seeing Lingard at West Ham performing and dancing again. And even though I hate Man United with a passion, but seeing Lingard go to West Ham and then be dancing and doing all that kind of stuff, I think seeing all those things and seeing black players being able to be themselves, enjoy life, and have success is great to see. And yeah, that's why I think it's so important for us just to keep the conversation going, keep making it accessible, and keep motivating people to try and get into the different sports, because I feel like any sport we enter, we can become one of the top guys in it.
No, for sure, man. Yeah, as you said, though, I'm just happy seeing the guys win, man. Not only the pro athletes, but us guys with platforms. Yeah, I'm just glad that everyone's getting their opinion out there, letting their voice be heard, getting credit for it. Because we might have some of the hardest takes, but if it doesn't get if we don't put it out there, you might not get not credit, but recognition. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the growth. I know obviously there's a market for it. Even the bigger companies are understanding that they have to adjust. Like things have changed, and yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to seeing us as black guys grow in the space.
Yeah.
Our platforms continuing to grow, and yeah, us getting opportunities following up from that.
Yeah, I can only echo what you guys are saying, bro. I'm excited to be black because of black excellence. 2021 is going to be a good year. AJ is going to knock out Tyson Fury. We're going to see 2 black captains in the Lions tour. Fingers crossed, not jinx anything. And I just see just so much good happening. Obviously, once fans come back into stadiums, I'm hoping that we're going to see them support some of the issues that have been going on during this pandemic, right? So, also I'm looking forward to Carnival. Good God, we need to be out and about enjoying this summer, bro. So, yeah, man, there's loads of different things. Everything's going to be a good year, I reckon.
Oh nah, fam, you man basically echoed everything that I would say. I think more so for me is obviously you man have highlighted the sports aspect of things, but in terms of like our platform, it's just about where we're growing it to, like what we're trying to do with it, the plans that we have for it, and I think it's about getting our black faces out in the outside world. You know what I'm saying? Like we want to be seen, we want to be heard, and it's not even just about the equality aspect of things, because at the end of the day, the quality aspect is what matters. If we've got quality content, we deserve to be heard, and I think that's what it is. Like we want to be heard because we know we've got an opinion that should be valued. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to, man. Definitely 2021. How we as a brand, how we're growing our brand and what we're trying to do with it, and the partnerships that we have in store. Just like what you man are saying with the partnerships that you could be having, like it's just those are the exciting things. Like the fact that we built this up, maybe not really with the plan of maybe trying to make it be big, just something to do amongst like our boys, our friends, and now it could actually go somewhere depending on the moves that you make and how serious and consistent you are. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's what excites me, especially now with lockdown as well. Like, think about like the amount of people we've met. I think there's people I've met online. I've known them for like 2 years, and I've never seen them before. Do you know what I'm saying? In person, so that's crazy as well. Like, so there's gonna be a lot of link ups, a lot of chances to meet people and do more things. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we've done so well to do so much in this lockdown period. So now when you carry on with, I don't know. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh yeah. Just how do you carry on with all of that? Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. That's me, man.
Well, boys, look, I really enjoyed that chat, man. It was great speaking. I'm gonna keep an eye out for you, man. Wishing you guys the best, man, and hopefully this year's gonna be a big one.
Amen, man. Good luck with everything. Good luck with everything, man.
Yeah, same for you guys, man. It's been a great chat. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you on the platform grow as well, man, for sure.
Nah, appreciate that. Appreciate that.